Chelsea legend John Terry gave his instant reaction to the decision when speaking on his TikTok channel.
Is a real top manager going to come to Chelsea Football Club at the moment in the position we're in? Can't buy players, looking like we're going to have to sell potentially, and that'll be our best players, which is always tough. We'll not be playing in European football. I hope I'm wrong in that, but yeah, really, really frustrated and worried, more importantly. So feel the anger, feel the frustration of the Chelsea supporters, but listen, I've seen 17 managers in my era come and go as Chelsea captain, and what the players will have to do is just get together, focus, and really focus on the weekend's game.
Oh, massive, isn't it? I mean, yeah. He's absolutely spot right. He's spot on. JT, isn't it, everything he says? And Gabby's, I think he's every right to be worried, as have the Chelsea fans.
Yes, and you look at the last 4 games, Ali. Forest at home, Liverpool away, Spurs at home, Sunderland away. They're not winning all 4. So I think Champions League has definitely gone for Chelsea, and they might end up in the Conference League place, Ali, which they probably won't want to be in when you hear...
By the way, they might not.
I know. They might not even get that. Exactly. So it's a summer as well, Ali, that Enzo Fernandez, you know, maybe, I don't think he would have forgive the club. You know, these players' egos are like, Ali.
You're right, mate.
He wouldn't have forgive the club for suspending for 2 games. He'll probably be forcing a move. Cucurella has been flirting with Barcelona.
Yeah, there's a few of them. There's a few of them will be playing in Spain next year.
They'll be dying to jump ship, Ali.
That would be my guess. We're going to go in Chelsea. And the decision to remove the manager and crossover talkSPORT presenter, a huge Chelsea fan, Olivia Buzaglo. Olivia! Very good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Olivia.
I'm good, thanks. I thought I was going to get a lion on one of my days off, but apparently
this is diabolical. We're not giving you a lion.
No, I know.
It's because you leave so early, that's why, when you do work. You owe us hours, Olivia.
Shut up, Gabby.
Well, listen, thanks very much for getting up out your bed this morning to talk to your 2 pals. Is it a big surprise? I don't think it's a big surprise what's happened, is it? Really, Olivia?
No, I think based off of that Brighton performance, which was one of the worst performances I have seen from Chelsea in recent memory, I'll go back to maybe like Graham Potter, and it was sort of that feeling. Chelsea fans were getting the same feeling they were getting with Graham Potter, where it just felt like there was no other alternative to Liam being sacked. Now, I really feel for him, because I don't think this will have any effect on him as a manager, to be perfectly honest, in terms of going forward, because it was a bit of a mess when he came in anyway, you know, sacking Enzo Maresca halfway through the season. And he'll go on to have a good career in management, and he'll continue that career, no problem whatsoever. But the issues at Chelsea run way deeper than just the manager. And this is why, when John Terry was talking, I think a lot of Chelsea fans feel the same, that you worry that a manager, which is now what they want in terms of a manager with experience and has managed at the highest level, why would any manager want to come into this? So I'm really struggling. I'm really intrigued, actually, to see what they do, next, because they can't afford to get it wrong again. And without any Europe, it's an absolute disaster.
I think as well, Olivia and Ali, if you're a top manager out there, you're going to go and speak to Maresca, aren't you? Give him a phone call. What was the problems? So if you have a meeting with Chelsea, you're going to say, so what I'm hearing about, the physios decide how long my players can play, the transfer situation you've got here, no experienced players. They'll have to change a lot of that for a top manager to take that job.
I listen to John Terry and I love it, and he's absolutely right. I mean, at this moment in time, it sounds a kind of bizarre thing to say, but which top manager is going to find that really, really attractive? I mean, it gets back to did the Chelsea owners kind of just appoint, not just appoint Rosenior, but one of the reasons they could appoint him was they could kind of
100%
control him.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know, Olivia, where Chelsea go from here, to be brutally honest.
Do you know, you make an interesting point. I look at the 5 managers, right, that Chelsea have had in since this ownership took charge. Thomas Tuchel obviously didn't last very long. Yeah. I look at the ones that Chelsea fans liked, or the ones that actually did well when you look at the like on paper and what they did and what they effectively won. So Thomas Tuchel, obviously everyone would have preferred him to stay. Mauricio Pochettino and Enzo Maresca. Now, I think the worrying thing in here is that those three managers had serious issues working under this ownership. And Tuchel was happy to walk away. Poch reportedly walked away at the end of the season, and Enzo Maresca reportedly walked away mid-season. And the only two managers that seemingly didn't have issues working under this ownership was Graham Potter, who it got so bad he got sacked, and now Liam Rosenior, who now it's got so bad he's got sacked. I think we're forgetting that Chelsea, over the last 2 decades, along with Manchester City, are the most successful team in England. Like, this is a team, and I think obviously that's part of the problem as well, is that Chelsea fans are so used to being successful. And even if managers got changed regularly, but they also won stuff. That was like an absolute, like, nailed down thing with Chelsea managers. It doesn't matter how bad it gets, you tend to leave after winning trophies. Now, Chelsea's record at Wembley is horrific nowadays, and yeah, I'm with you, Ali. I don't really know where Chelsea go from here, because like I say, I don't think a manager of the highest level, but that's what Chelsea should be. You know, Chelsea Football Club, that manager role should be prestigious. It should be only the best of the best get that role. Now, that has completely changed, and it now seems like they need to go sort of back to that. But I agree with you, and I don't think any manager at the top level right now is going to want to come and work under them unless things significantly change, and that would have to be them admitting that they've got it wrong.
Who would you take, Olivia, right now, if you had an option? I mean, crazy as it may seem, would Maresca come into the equation?
I personally really liked Enzo Maresca, and the players liked Enzo Maresca.
Exactly.
I think you can tell that, because obviously since he got sacked, you had Cole Palmer say he liked him. You had Enzo, you had Cucurella. I know you were just talking about those two players speaking out, and they quite clearly liked him, because they're still talking about a manager 3-4 months after he's been sacked. And so the issue there quite clearly wasn't the players. Whereas I think this time around, it did feel like the players maybe just weren't playing for Liam Rosenior, which I personally don't like at all. And I really hope the rumours of them, like there's reports of them like taking the mick out of him and stuff at training. I really, really, really hope that that's not true, because I think that says a lot more about the players than it does about him. But yeah, talking of managers, I haven't got a clue, because, like, you know, back in the day, if you'd have asked me, if like under the previous ownership, I'd have been like, right, Luis Enrique, he would be my number one. I know he's extending with PSG now, and there's no way that I don't think he would come to this ownership. We know what Luis Enrique is like working with the PSG owners as well. And I think Nagelsmann had a chat before. He said, I don't think this is for me. I know Iraola was like, you know, reported yesterday that one of the managers Chelsea are open to speaking to. But with the situation at Bournemouth and the setup he had there, and I just don't know if Antonio Iraola would even come and work at Chelsea. No. I just think it's a complete mess at the moment, and I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Olivia, I don't want these players to get away with it, to be honest. I feel that, like, people will mock Liam Rosenior and say he was this, and he writ on his notepad, and you come out with these sayings, but let's not look at some of these players. Garnacho, you know, he's got the ego of Ronaldo, but the level of play of David Bellion, who used to be at Manchester United 20 years ago, like Pedro Neto, you know, like, he's got an ego but doesn't turn up. Cole Palmer, has Cole Palmer had a good season? Because if you're talking about a World Cup now, I'll tell you what, Gibbs White is miles ahead of Palmer and Foden. Yeah. When the manager needed Palmer, where was he? In the stand against Brighton. Oh, he's got a little hamstring injury. Oh, has the physio helped you out again? Said you're not right to play. So some of these so-called leaders at Chelsea, they're not leaders. They're through the manager under the bus.
Yeah, I think the sad reality is that I think, like, we probably will see over the next couple of games that actually maybe Cole Palmer might be playing a little bit better. Enzo Fernandez might be playing. And we will not see, I know for a fact, we will not see that level of performance we saw against Brighton, against Leeds in the FA Cup semi-final. And that's what I mean. He had to go. And I know Callum McFarlane, obviously, when he came in for that one game against City, you know, nicked a point at the Etihad somehow, but you could tell the performance was good. And that's ahead of Sunday. I think that needed to happen. I actually put on X, I would get JT in the dressing room. 100%. Not as the manager. I would just, but I think people underestimate, one, JT's impact, and just, I know it sounds so stupid, but these players, I don't think they understand what it means to play for such a a club like Chelsea, I don't think they get it. Because like we were saying, would Enzo Fernandez and Marc Cucurella had come out and said what they said if John Terry was in that dressing room?
I think as well. You talk about JT. I totally agree. What John Terry has won at that football club. When you say Chelsea, you think John Terry. Yeah. So it's a no-brainer. Get him in and around that squad of players. Get him speaking to the players. Make them understand. Like, guys, this isn't like a small club. This is Chelsea Football Club. Liven up. Big
game at the weekend, guys. Definitely got one to call. Olivia, thanks for getting
your
Ali. This morning. Thank you, Olivia. Join us. Appreciate it.
No idea, Ali.
No.
Because the pressure's off Leeds now in the Premier League as well. They're on 40 points.
100%.
They can play their strongest side in this game and go for it.
What an incentive for Leeds. And they deserve to be where they are with some great performances. One obviously at Old Trafford, picking up point. They've been good last few weeks, I'll tell you. Here, Chelsea's very next game, which is, of course, as you mentioned there, Gabby, the FA Cup semi-final. It's right here in talkSPORT. The kick-off is 3 p.m. on Sunday.